Hey friends, in this week's video, I'm taking you along for our little weekend getaway without the kids. I'll also be sharing how I've been working through one of the biggest challenges that comes with being a twin mom, or really just a mom of little ones in general. For this trip, we traveled to Saugatuck, Michigan, where we enjoyed our very first glamping experience. And honestly, it was one of my favorite trips we've ever taken. Now, you may have already guessed the reason behind this trip, and that was for finding quality, uninterrupted time with my spouse. After having the twins, those first 6 months were a blur. It felt like our lives revolved around feedings, naps, and keeping the house running. We were exhausted, just trying to find our rhythm without letting down our kids, our work, family, or friends. And so often, the time that should have been set aside for one another was the first thing to go. But here's the thing, if we don't intentionally protect that space, it's scary how quickly our spouse can start to feel more like a roommate than a partner. I know, so cliche. But as a mom, I often felt my duty was first and foremost to my children. And while that's true in many ways, I came to realize that my children's security and joy actually grow out of the strength of our marriage. I remember just feeling so annoyed when my kids needed me and my husband needed me at the same time. I would be just frustrated that my husband would even think of asking for my help when clearly the kids needed me at that time. So I really wasn't being fair to him. Ephesians 5 reminds us that a marriage is a picture of Christ and the church. It is designed to be nurtured and cared for. So when we care for our marriage, we're modeling to our kids what love, commitment, and unity look like. I want to be careful in saying this though, because it can be misunderstood. I am not saying that choosing your kids over your husband is always wrong, or that your children don't matter. They absolutely do. What I am cautioning about is how easy it is to idolize our children, placing them above everything else. And while there is a season, especially with newborns, where they require the bulk of our time and energy, it's still important to be proactive about tending to the marriage as well. We've been so blessed with a strong support system that allows us to carve out weekly date nights, and I can't overstate how vital this has been for us. We're both very social people, and without that intentional rhythm, our free time would quickly fill up with busyness or service level activities that didn't actually build up our relationship. Those weekly date nights also became the safe space where we could talk about the bigger things going on in our family, our goals, our stresses, our dreams. And I'll be honest, a few of those evenings turned into arguments simply because we hadn't had any quiet moments alone to really process or communicate at home. But as the twins got older and we found better rhythms at home, our date nights slowly shifted back to what they were meant to be: fun, life-giving, and full of connection. I'll be the first to admit that our marriage is not perfect by any means. I struggle with my own pride, laziness, and coveting that keeps our marriage from growing. But friends, I can't encourage you enough. Make time for your spouse. If you're feeling the loneliness and rundown at home, just imagine the pressure your husband may be feeling as the provider. I constantly have to kill the voice in my head that is pleading, "What about me?" Because it keeps me from really wondering, what can I do for him? And remember, Ecclesiastes 4:12 says, "A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken." When we invite God into our marriage and then intentionally invest in one another, we're building a foundation that can not just hold us, but also our children through every season. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you feel encouraged and enjoyed the beauty that Western Michigan had to offer. See you in the next video.